Hello and welcome to the Monocle Weekly. This time I had the pleasure to speak with the owner of a New York institution, the Mark Hotel in the Upper East Side. The hotel has a close connection with the Met Gala event. Izak Senbahar tells me all about it and the new exciting additions to the hotel. I want to start with you from the beginning, since you've acquired, the building from the iconic hotel that was there since 1927. Did you know much about the hotel? Was that something that you always wanted to do, or was it something, was kind of a last-minute decision? Tell me about that process from the early days.
Yeah, I knew about the hotel for a long time. I lived pretty close by, so I was very familiar with the hotel. At one point around 2005, Mandarin had bought it prior to 2005. Not many years before that, but I would say a few years before that. Their plan was that they were building in the Time Warner building, their Mandarin hotel, and they wanted to have a west side and an east side. And after they built their west side, my understanding was that the construction was pretty hard and they went over budget and stuff like that. So they didn't want to take another undertaking of renovation and gut renovation of another hotel. They kind of chucked their plans of having an east and a west Mandarin. Through somebody we knew, we got an opportunity to get in. It was only a few bidders, and we were lucky enough to buy it from them. My initial intention was really mostly the real estate and retail, because I thought Madison and 70s, I always thought very highly of that area because it's a very residential, yet all the museums are there, galleries, restaurants, and I was always very up about that location. So I thought Mandarin would manage it and we would own the real estate and retail, and that was the business plan at the time. But a few years into it, 2 years into it, we realized we weren't making much money with Mandarin or any money at all. And we started to complain about it. And then at one point, I guess, in one of the meetings, I said, you know what, I think I can run this better than you guys. This is not Hong Kong. I mean, if it was in Asia, maybe that's a different market, but this is right around the corner where I live. I know the market. So I had an option to get out. I got out, and then I said to myself, okay, I spoke a little too big. Now I have to deliver. I'm a little bit of an architect and design buff, so I have all these books that I put markers on them. I have my favorites. So I had my eye in Jacques Grange, and who had done not a lot, but few very good projects that I really had liked. Princess Caroline, Yves Saint Laurent, and a couple of people in New York. Through another friend, I reached out to him. I said, look, I've never seen you done a hotel. You're in Paris and I'm in New York, but I really like what you do. And what I really want to build is a hotel which is contemporary, but has some classical look and some timeless. And I want it to feel homely. I don't want a huge lobby. I wanted to feel like a home, which is what you do. To make a long story short, he was delighted, and I went to Paris. We met. We took a liking at each other, and that was the beginning of this. Really, it was a relationship with Jacques Grange that really grew to a very good friendship and collaboration, and that was the basis of really the whole thing.
I loved what you said before as well, that you know the market, you live near the hotel. And for me, when I think of the Mark, for me it's about the small details. When you mention homely, I think that's quite something that is quite unique as well to the hotel. The little cart at the hotel entrance. Is that, am I correct in saying that kind of that homeliness as well? You don't want just a sterile 5-star hotel in that sense.
That's a little bit of my personality in terms of the hot dog cart. I'm a hotel buff as well. Like, I love hotels and I study them. I go stay, change rooms, and I really like everything. I look at mini bars. So to me, I really like luxury. I think that going over the top luxury is not what I like. I mean, what I enjoy is a little bit of high and low, I mean, everything should not be gold. And, to have a $6 hot dog from Jean-Georges, to me, makes a lot of sense. I don't see why. I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but, you go to Paris, you go to London, and it's so glitzy. I like glitz, but I'd like to also offer something which is, I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but a Saudi prince. I saw him in Italy, and he was telling his wife how much he likes the hotel. And he said, "You know what? You're not going to like what I say." I said, "What?" And he said, "I like your hotel not because of the rooms, because I can have a hot dog."
Who doesn't like a hot dog, right?
No, but especially in New York, right? I mean, you're not going to maybe have it in Paris, but in New York, it's such a New York thing. And, if you come, and also I think most people, when they build things, they think about themselves and what they like and what they have. But, you got to think about every different, if you come to New York from London with 2 kids, for them to have a hot dog, walk at go to the park, and it's a New York experience, and I'd like that. I mean, I don't think everything should be 3 Michelin star or Jean-Georges, I mean, the hot dogs happen to be Jean-Georges, but so the same thing with the menu. Like, Jean-Georges is a very good friend of mine as well, and when I came up with the idea of just talking to Jean-Georges about the restaurant, and we were in Senbahar, and then I said, he was a friend of mine before that. I said, I know you well, but I'm going to ask you something which is stupid. And he said, go ahead. And I said, oh, okay, you know what? Let's have lunch. I'll tell you at lunch. So we had lunch. And I said, look, can I dumb your menu down? He says, what does that mean? I said, look, like, dumb it down, simplify it. Like, I don't want, like, can we do a menu where I have a page and you have a page? And Jean-Georges happens to be a very open-minded, nice, and intelligent. And he said, look, of course, I can do the simple very good as well. And, I can do. So basically, we have created a menu in the Jean-Georges, which is really, you and I can go there and you can have a crispy sushi, I can have a pizza, the third person can have a hamburger with French fries, and the fourth person can have an elaborate, like, fish dish, which is Jean-Georges classic. And I like that.
I think that sounds like a great idea. And talking about food, I've been reading, of course, besides the Jean-Georges restaurant, the bar, you have Caviar Caspia as well. And there's some exciting news. I think there's a seasonal kind of clam bar as well, which is, I think, outdoor dining's open, I guess. Can I say that in New York? Is it hot enough?
Yeah.
Is it warm enough?
Oh, by the way, beautiful day yesterday. Beautiful day today. It's really right now. I mean, it rained for a long time. It was cold, and suddenly in the last couple of days, it's a beautiful. I mean, it's full. It's outside is really cheery right now. Everybody wanted to go outside, and it's pretty good.
And what's the importance, Izak? So, for example, we have the Met Gala as well coming up very soon in New York. I know the hotel has kind of a very strong relationship with the event, right?
Look, it's multifaceted. We can take a lot of credit for it, but, geography has a lot to do with it. We are the closest hotel to the Met in terms of geographically. So that you got to understand this. Most of the talent are dressing with very elaborate, big outfits, which doesn't do well with travel, meaning, it's tough to come here and with those kind of outfits from downtown. So basically, we have that advantage. And early on, we have understood that we have that advantage, and we started catering to them. And and throughout the year, we have it pat down. We know what they need. We know how the departures, people, the logistics are really, really hard because you have 50 to 60 talent and they're all going to the same place at the same time, and there's 60 cars waiting for them. And the elevators, you can't fit more than 2 people or 3 people because the dresses and everything is so basically we have to give everybody a slot on the elevator. So we have people in each floor that's directing this, which with the right car pulls up, and so there's a lot of logistics that it's relied upon, that they rely upon us. So basically we deliver consistency, immediate service, whatever they need in the last minute. We have everything you need in under one roof, whatever they need. And that kind of, it's more logistics, geography, than glam. And, we have that every day. But in the Met Gala, we deliver logistics and we deliver practicality. That also leads to an after party type of thing, because what happens, most people don't eat much before and they don't eat much during the Met Gala. So we have so the first after party, it's usually in our place where we serve, mostly they like hot dogs and French fries and
Always
pizzas
the hot dogs.
yeah, because you know what, they're hungry. And no, we offer a lot more, but the parties are fun. So the party scene goes like everybody comes back to change and go to the first party, and they hang around till 12 or 1, and then they go to other parties. So basically we have got that down, to perfection almost. And so we deliver consistency, and that's what people need at that point.
And going back to what you said as earlier in the interview about the city of New York and the connection of someone who goes there and visit, if you go to the Mark Hotel website, there's so many information about, life with the Mark, what can you do around the city. I feel very much that it's not just for people perhaps who are staying there, but it's something that New Yorkers can enjoy as well, right? Including yourself, a resident nearby.
No, look, it's all from the get-go. When I took the challenge and I said, look, what makes a successful place and a place which can last long, right? Because we're not doing something for a year or two. So I figured it has got to be a hub. Everybody comes for a reason. Let's say you come to stay because you need to be in New York. I want people to come there to the genre. Let's go back to what I say to they don't like it when I say it. I like a 3-ring circus. And they say, oh, we're not a ring, we're not a circus. And, but we are, because, we're in entertainment, and people by and large have short time, attention, like the span attention. It's just people need to be entertained in a quick fashion and not just. So basically, I always think that if you bring enough things under one roof and you are entertaining people, that's why. Okay, we have Jean-Georges, which does the room service and gives you your whatever the 3-star Michelin menu plus the perks of pizzas and burgers and whatever have you. And then, for example, we have Caviar Caspia, which is a different venue, which people come for. For brunch. The brunch is great. They come for anniversaries, birthdays, celebrations. A lot of fashion business uses it as their, canteen. Let's say there are a lot of parties. So what happens is now what Michelle was telling you, I guess now we have a clam bar on Madison, which looks like an East, Long Island clam bar. And so now there's an excitement around that. So basically, our job is to create excitement every day. So, if you want to come and have a lobster roll, it's right there. And, you want to have some clams, it's right there. It's outdoors. It's all red, very eye-catching. So, and, we have Frederic Fekkai, which, most of the Upper East Siders, whether they're coming for a blow dry or haircuts or manicures, whatever have you. So basically, you come to Frederic Fekkai for a blow dry. You can have room service and eat there, or you can go down and eat in any of the restaurants we have. So, and then you meet your friends. So then we have John Loeb. You come for a shoe shine, and so we have created all this different parts that we want everybody to come into this roof, under this roof, for a reason. And then maybe you'll sit down and have a coffee. Then that will make it a place where people see each other. People go out to see people. And we know who wants privacy, who doesn't want privacy. Some celebrities want privacy, some don't care. So we have learned throughout 15 years of running this place, we can place you in a restaurant in a place that nobody's going to see you. But today you want to be seen, then that's a different. So it's all just about entertaining you, not just giving you a roof and then comfortable bed. What can I do to entertain you?
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, the way he's talking about entertaining, because people should enjoy themselves. When they go to a hotel, they shouldn't feel like, I don't know, like a bit strange. I was going to ask you as well. I need to ask, because here in Europe, people are talking about, Trump, the tariffs, tourism to the US. As a hotelier, are you worried about that? Or do you think perhaps the mark might not be affected by this? What do you have to say about this?
I mean, the mark is, it's not a macro. We have 153 rooms. Our clientele is either from like LA, Hollywood people or fashion people that have to be here anyways, or the kids in Columbia and NYU, they have to come and see them. The business still going on. So the effect is minimal, but there is an effect. But overall, it's not a good thing, correct? I mean, the buzz out there is not the trend. I don't like the trend. And there is no reason for us to offend the rest of the world or Europe or any place, because you know what, money and people can have a lot of options. I mean, you don't have, if you want to go on vacation, I know New York is a very, very attractive city with all the theaters and restaurants, museums and this and that. But you know what? I think we cannot say, oh, we're the best and people will come anyways. No, people will go other places. So the trend, I don't like the trend. Hopefully it will change and hopefully things will change. But no, the buzz right now is not good.
Yeah, it's a shame because even Monocle, recently we did a story on this rise of new menswear brands from New York. So, I mean, New York is amazing. There's amazing potential, places to stay. So it would be a shame if, something political change that, that tide of tourism. Are you a big fan of New York? I mean, you've been living there for quite a while, right? Are you originally from Turkey, right?
No, I was born in Istanbul and I moved to
another
Washington.
Amazing city.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It is an amazing city. It's East meets West. I'm not objective about New York because I wouldn't live anywhere else. So basically, I love New York. It has got energy all around the clock. You can eat, at 3:00 in the morning. You can, there's life. And there is a lot of culture, it's not just entertainment. The culture is like, it's not Miami, it's just, we have every kind of things here. And so basically, if I'm a French person or if I'm an English person, I'm a Brazilian person, right? I mean, everybody gets excited about coming to New York. I mean, it's an exciting city to come because it has a lot to offer. The theaters, everything is here and everything is big and everything is So we have that going for New York, and that's not going to change. And that energy is here. And I actually was having lunch with the mayor on Monday. We were talking about that. But I always in business, I've always learned to be paranoid. You always have to watch. It's like a marathon. You have to always see who is running your pace, who is running behind you, who's so, even if you think you're the best, you gotta see what's going on and improve upon. And so we cannot say New York, we're the best, people are gonna come anyways. No, the environment has to be corrected, and people would have to feel good about coming to New York. Not right now there's this anti-American feel a little bit, especially in Canada. Their pride is hurt, and I don't blame them. I mean, so all the things we're living through has happened before in the history. In 1920s, the same thing has happened, and time takes care of it, because at the end of the day, U.S. and European countries, South American countries, Brazil, Mexico, or Canada, it goes back. Relationships go a long way back, and we're not going to let a year or two in between. Like, you're not going to catch me say, oh, yeah, I'm mad at whatever, some French guy or some French policy. Oh, I'm never going to. No, there's a huge friendship throughout the years, throughout decades, that should not be dissolved in a matter of a year. So I think I am pretty confident that cool heads will prevail. People will forgive and forget, because forgiveness and forgetting is the best way to go forward. And I hope for that.
I agree 100%. Izak, thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you very much, Izak. And if you want to book a stay, go to themarkhotel.com. The show was edited by Elliot Greenfield. Thank you very much for listening.